How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store has kicked off Wave 2 of its holiday sale, and it is an absolute abomination to navigate, but I have rounded out some deals under the price of $10 to go over some really good stuff as always, and let's just get right into it. Once the store fully refreshes and it's easier to look at the newer deals versus the older deals, I'll do more videos on it. It's just abysmal to navigate right now, but like I said, was able to dig up some deals, so let's get right into it. First up, we have Borderlands the Legendary Collection, 80% off for $9.99 if you're one of the 4 people that don't own any of these titles. You know, they are a little bit older, but I feel like Borderlands 1 and 2, man, they still hold up really well. Borderlands 1 came out all the way back in 2009, Borderlands 2 in 2012, and I still think they're quality games to go through. Borderlands 2 still remains my favorite Borderlands title, and this does also include Borderlands the pre-sequel. How could I forget that? So you're getting a lot of content for your dollar. On top of that, you're getting the majority of the game's DLC. The lone review for this collection is on the PlayStation Store is worth it for just Borderlands 2 alone, and I agree with that sentiment so much. I wouldn't say jump right into Borderlands 2 because Borderlands 1 very much is worthwhile to go through, but it's a game from 2009. It will show its age a little bit, but man, maybe it was a product of its time, but the Borderlands 1 and 2 comedy clicked with me so much more than Borderlands 3 and 4, but it might have just been I was younger back then and it resonated with me more. I don't know, but they're quality games from a gameplay standpoint as well. $9.99, great pickup there. Next up, we have The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition, another one that I feel like, you know, 98% of people that are watching this video are going to own, but guess what? If you're one of the 2% that don't, that was the time to change that. $9.99 for this is an outstanding deal, and while it does say Complete Edition, you know, it might not be complete for much longer, given that there are the rumblings that an expansion for this game will be coming out in May of this year. We'll see if that ultimately comes to fruition, but it is looking exceedingly likely that that will in fact be happening, and I think that's so incredibly exciting given how good Witcher 3 is, even outside of the potential of an expansion. Witcher 3 is just an outstanding game, and the DLC that is baked into this Complete Edition is great, especially Blood and Wine. It's a fantastic piece of content, and Hearth and Stone is quite good as well, so great pickup there, given it's $9.99. Next up, we have Zero Escape, the Nonary games, 80% off for $5.99. If you're trying to get into visual novels, man, this is a pretty good one as far as mystery, investigative titles. These ones I really enjoy. Like, I played 999 back when it came out on the Nintendo DS, and I enjoyed them quite a lot. Love the character designs in the game. The overall story was quite good, and there is a third title as well that you can check out, but yeah, $5.99 for a pair of quality visual novels, definitely a good pickup there. And speaking of visual novels, I'd be remiss if I don't mention Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. This is always a great collection, and if you want a gateway into visual novels, this is probably the best one. You can go with Zero Escape, you can go with Phoenix Wright, they're both great games. I just feel like Phoenix Wright, more of a gaming cultural icon in that regard, as Zero Escape really isn't that, and most people have at least heard of these games, so might be a good way to get into the genre, but great from a narrative standpoint. It has a bit of comedy, has a bit of charm, but I think they're well done, and for $9.89, I think they're definitely great pickups and would highly recommend them. Great prices for 3 titles. Do keep in mind that while Phoenix Wright is associated with the Nintendo DS, I believe the first Ace Attorney was a Game Boy Advance game in Japan. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that was the case. So don't expect anything blow away from a design standpoint, but worthwhile games narratively for sure. Next up, we have Desperados 3, 80% off for $9.99. I always give a shout to Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun by Mimimi Games, who also did Desperados 3, but Desperados 3 is a solid Western tactics title as well. This deluxe edition includes the DLC as well, and it's a well-done tactics game that Wild West is one of my favorite settings, along with Edo, Japan, and Cyberpunk. So Mimimi Games got 2 out of the 3 settings that I really love out of their games. Even if it's not in a genre that I absolutely love in tactics titles, their games are mechanically well done and rewarding, so I would say for $9.99, this is a great pickup. Definitely would recommend that. Next up, we have Frostpunk, the Complete Collection. This is $5.84 if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber. It's a little bit more expensive expensive if you're not, but it's still worth it at $8.09. Frostpunk is a really, really compelling game from a design standpoint and an atmosphere standpoint, and it really does emotionally grip you in the sense of being a city builder. That's not necessarily what these games typically go for, but I thought Frostpunk did an excellent job in that regard. Just a really compelling game, and it works well enough with the DualShock controls. Like, I played predominantly on PC when I did my time with Frostpunk, so you know, it's definitely a game that's designed for keyboard and mouse first, but still worthwhile to go through it if you're remotely into city builders, or you just want to try out a compelling game from a setting standpoint. I think Frostpunk is a game that even non-fans of the genre can have some fun with, and fun might not be the right word to say with it, but you get the idea. It's a quality title there. Next up, we've got the Devil May Cry HD Collection. This is $9.89. You get Devil May Cry 1, Devil May Cry 2, and Devil May Cry 3. These games are super iconic action games, however, they absolutely show their age. Capcom, please at some point do a ground-up remake of Devil May Cry 1. You've been remaking all of the, or a lot of the Resident Evil games. I feel like DMC 1, DMC 2, and DMC 3 getting ground-up remakes would do rather well, and DMC 2... you know, that's a game that obviously had its negative reception for sure. I didn't think it was as bad as people made it out to be perfectly honest, but I don't know, people will disagree with me on that, and I played it years and years ago, so maybe I gotta go back and give it another shot. But again, the games are a little bit archaic, but still enjoyable action games, and yeah, for $9.89, a good pickup. I always recommend DMC 5, but you might want to go back and play the originals. I've never been that big on the DMC narrative. I know a lot of people are super into it. I'm more about the gameplay in these titles, so it is what it is. $9.89 on that. And then we have DMC Devil May Cry, a super underrated game from Ninja Theory, the same developers behind Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, Hellblade, Senua Sacrifice, and Senua Saga. They did DMC Devil May Cry back in 2013, and it got a fairly mixed reception, but a lot of that was because of the design of Dante. People were not into that. What you have to do with DMC Devil May Cry is genuinely, you just have to go into it as an action game. Yes, it's got the Devil May Cry moniker in there, but go into it as an action game, and you'll probably have a pretty good time. You've also got DLC in here, cosmetic DLC there, and 60 frames per second with DMC Devil May Cry on PlayStation 4, initially a PS3 game, but I had a fun time with it. If you want a quick, all-killer, little filler action title, DMC Devil May Cry will offer you that, so I would give it a shout. Next up, we have Sifu, 75% off for $9.99. I love this game from a visual standpoint. I think stylistically, it's so unique, and Slow Clap has really found a unique style for themselves that they parlayed into Rematch as well. Sifu is a challenging game. It is brutally difficult, and at times you damn near want to snap a controller, but it is very rewarding and an addicting game to go through, and for $9.99, I think this is a great pickup, so I would highly recommend it at this price point. If you want something a little bit challenging with a lot of personality and a unique style to it, I think, again, you'll have a pretty good time with that. $9.99 for that. Next up, we have Haven, 70% off for $7.49. This is the game that I often recommend to people if they want a game to play with their significant other that is not into video games. Haven has a really charming story. It's got two likable characters. It's not like an overwhelming game from a narrative standpoint, a mechanic standpoint. You kind of take in the great art direction, and I feel like a lot of people that aren't into video games will enjoy that. I get that the popular games to recommend are like Split Fiction and whatnot, but I just think Split Fiction is a little bit nuanced from the gameplay standpoint and not a good gateway title to get somebody into video games. Haven, it's a co-op title, you know, that's pretty much designed for you to play with your significant other. You can play it solo, you know, you can absolutely play it a single player, but really, I think you get the most mileage out of it cooperatively. But nonetheless, $7.49 on that. Love the art style in the game. Not super lengthy either, which works well for a game like this. So check that out, $7.49 on that. Next up, we got the Shadow Warrior Collection. If you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you'll get this for $7.49. Otherwise, it's $9.99. Includes Shadow Warrior 1 and 2. Super fast-paced, visceral, high-octane action titles. A lot of blood and guts in these games, not for you to play with your, you know, your kid or anything like that, but if you want a brutal action title with a lot of blood and guts, Shadow Warrior is going to be a really good time. I wouldn't go into it expecting a super compelling narrative, but if you want visceral gameplay, oh yeah, sign yourself up for Shadow Warrior. You're going to have a good time with these two titles. I do think Shadow Warrior 2 is better than Shadow Warrior 1, but both titles are worth playing. And then lastly, Speaking of high-octane, fast-paced action titles, well, not as bloody, Bayonetta and Vanquish, the 10th anniversary bundle, 75% off for $9.99 is a great pickup as well. Vanquish is one of those forgotten gems, and it's not that forgotten. I recommend it all the time, and hopefully a lot of you guys have checked it out. It takes Platinum Games' over-the-top gameplay, and it raises it up to 11. Vanquish was so insane, but back when it came out in 2010, you know, 6 to 8 hour game, really 8 hour would be pushing it, but 6 hour game for 60 bucks was gonna be a hard sell. But man, Vanquish was a great time. From that short playthrough you had, you're gonna have an awesome time with the game. And now you're only paying $9.99 and you're getting another game. Bayonetta, obviously one of the more iconic action games of all time as well. Very much worthwhile to go through that as well. Unfortunate we won't get Bayonetta 2 and 3 on PlayStation, but what can you do? Bayonetta 1 is still very much worthwhile going through. And that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals under the price of $10 as a part of Wave 2 of the PlayStation Store sale. Check them out, links in the description box below. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.